Yvonne, you star in I Love You Too, the new Australian romantic comedy, but you've had so much success in America, and Americans are so in love with Australian actors.
Yes, absolutely, yeah. I don't know, we've kind of been flavour of the month for a decade, so it kind of feels that way. I think a lot of it, I was talking to a casting director a few weeks ago, and I said, what is it that you guys respond to with Australians? And they said, it's the fact that we're hardworking and we come prepared. So we come into a room and we know our lines, and we treat acting more as a craft, and we've been trained to do it properly. And I don't know, I think in the industry, I think that's what they do like about us. But also, as Australians, as a nation, I think we have such a unique sense of life. Our attitude towards life is so unlike anywhere else. And I grew up here, obviously, but having been removed from Australia for 3 years now, every time I come back, it's so obvious to me why people love us so much, because we are so different. We're almost exotic, which is exactly what Americans think of us, with this exotic sort of weird island with weird animals,
I know they love talking about dangerous animals and all this sort of crazy stuff, and it does get a little bit cliche, but you really have broken down some of those stereotypes, and also I know they've got grand respect for you with your ability to do some amazing accents. The British accent, I Love You Too, and obviously the American accent, and your dedication to the craft. I mean, obviously acting is what you live and breathe.
Yeah, definitely.
How did you come to the point where this is what I'm going to do for a living?
I don't think there was ever anything else that I wanted to do. I think, growing up, if you look through all our family home videos, there's a million home videos of me mucking around with a camera and making my friends. We used to write our own skits, like write our own sort of almost sketch comedy show, or we'd write our own documentaries and do all sorts of things. So at a young age, I was kind of the clown, I guess, of the family, and then I high school did the plays, and then straight after high school did my 3 years at university studying acting, and that was it.
Now, would you suggest that's the way to do it, though? Because some people do, they really crave this instant stardom, but I mean, there's so much hard work, isn't there, behind the scenes, that people don't have a sense of appreciation sometimes?
Yeah, I mean, definitely, that's the thing. If you're going to be an actor, I think you've got to put in the hard yards and actually study it and do it properly. I mean, so many people just sort of rock up to Hollywood and sort of go, oh, yeah, I'm alright, I'll give it a go. But
now, you did make it seem a little bit easy, because you did get your first gig rather swiftly. Just to retrace that a little bit, I mean, you just lob into LA and you're on a major US sitcom.
Yeah, well, kind of. Well, I worked here. So once I graduated from my 3 years of acting school here at university, I worked here for 3 years. So I did, I started out in commercials and had my own theatre company as well, and I waitressed for 3 years. So I did all that sort of stuff, but I did get extremely lucky. I put an audition down from Sydney for Chuck, and I got on the plane not knowing that I had the job. So I'd packed my bag for a couple of months and then got there, and we had a phone call the next day saying they'd seen the tape, and by the end of the week I had the job. So it was, I never used my return ticket home.
Now, things have been panning out pretty beautifully for you, but how does it sit with you when you hear a survey, you're amongst the top 100 hot women of the world? I mean, is this the sort of thing you want as well, this sort of attention?
No, you don't think of that when you're going to acting school. You can't, I mean, all you want to do is do the role and the character and be in projects that you love, and all that stuff for me was something I really had to learn, and that goes hand in hand with red carpets, publicity, and all the other stuff that you have to do. I mean, most actors in interviews come off really confident, and and they're expected to be confident, but we're not really. We're sort of our job is to pretend to be somebody else, not to do an interview and be ourselves.
Okay, so who's the real Yvonne now?
It's not really me.
Well, what's the real you in the sense that, when you're not acting? I mean, I know that you love horse riding and things like that. That's the hobby sides. But, who are you really? I mean, what sort of person would you like to be known as?
Oh, I'm a real tomboy. I got to the States and they put a pair of 4-inch high heels on me and I didn't know how to walk in them. So, you know, and now I do know how to walk in them, obviously, but so, I mean, for me, I'm just the tomboy. I camp. I like sitting in the dirt and wearing jeans and T-shirts. I mean, that's me.
Yvonne, thanks so much for the chat and look forward to your next film.
Thank you very much.